When Sicil stepped through her door, her senses were still filled with the lingering tranquility of the countryside retreat. The warm embrace of her family home, however, was swiftly replaced by the brisk and businesslike tone of her mother's voice. "Why are you so late, Sicil?" Mrs. Anderson questioned, her tone a blend of concern and irritation. Still caught in the afterglow of her time away with Ethan, Sicil struggled to find an immediate answer. "I lost track of time, Mum, I'm sorry," Sicil responded, attempting to ease her mother's apparent displeasure. Mrs. Anderson, however, was not easily swayed. "Well, there is no time for apologies now. Get ready quickly. We are going to the Wilsons," her mother declared, a glint of excitement in her eyes that Sicil could not quite decipher. Unsure of the sudden plan, Sicil complied, hurrying to her room. To her surprise, neatly laid out on her bed was the elegant dress Sebastian had gifted her. A dress she remembered wearing for her prom. She stroked the dress with memories flooding her mind about their almost kiss. She wondered what he might be doing now. Did he ever think of her and their time together? Arriving at the Wilsons, Sicil noticed a lively gathering in progress. Her confusion deepened. Normally, she would be in the loop about events here, given their proximity and family friendship. She racked her brain, wondering if she had missed something important recently. Was it a forgotten birthday? But nothing seemed amiss. So, what was the occasion for this gathering? As they entered the Wilsons' garden, Sicil caught a glimpse of Sebastian in the distance, standing tall, a mix of familiarity and maturity defining his presence. Even from afar, Sebastian's presence exuded a magnetic charm that drew Sicil's attention. Sicil halted in her tracks, shocked to see him in front of her. She could not help but admire the way he carried himself, a certain grace marking every movement. He appeared taller, more confident, and undeniably handsome. The passing years had sculpted him into a man with an air of maturity that complemented his innate charisma. Sebastian, engrossed in conversation, sensed a subtle shift in the atmosphere. He glanced at the entrance. There, framed in the archway, stood Sicil, a vision of grace and elegance. The dress he had gifted her accentuated her features, and Sebastian found himself captivated by the transformation before him. Their eyes locked, the world around them fading into insignificance. The depth of emotion that passed between them was an acknowledgement of years apart, and the reunion now. Slowly, Sicil and Sebastian began to navigate through the lively crowd, oblivious to the surrounding festivities. With every step, they absorbed the changes that time had brought. Finally, they stood face to face, mere inches apart. Sicil's radiant smile mirrored the joy that blossomed within, and Sebastian could not help but reciprocate with a grin that conveyed both happiness and awe. "Sebastian, look who's here!" Mrs. Anderson greeted her warmly, breaking the spell. Sebastian's eyes lit up with an infectious smile. "Sicil," he uttered, a blend of wonder and delight coloring his voice. A playful smile danced on her lips as she teased him. "Sebastian Wilson, is that really you, or am I dreaming?" Sebastian chuckled nervously. "It is me, Sicil. I promise I am not a figment of your imagination." Sicil continued, her tone a mix of teasing and genuine curiosity. "And here I thought you had forgotten all about your childhood friend. Are you still the same Sebastian, who used to get all shy when I teased him?" Sebastian replied with a playful grin. "Well, some things never change, but I have missed us more than you can imagine." In a tender moment, Sebastian bent down and kissed Sicil's cheeks. As he pulled back, he uttered words that echoed the depth of his longing. "It's been 4 years, 7 months, 20 days, 6 hours, and 5 minutes since I last kissed you, and it feels like forever." Sicil, still in disbelief, whispered, "I can't believe you counted the days." Sebastian, with a gentle smile, confessed, "How could I not? Every day without you felt like an eternity. But now that you are here, it is like time never passed." Sicil, smiling at the meticulous detailing of time, responded with a playful quip. "Really? You remember down to the last 5 minutes?" Sebastian, still reeling in the joy of the moment, winked and said, "Well, maybe a couple of minutes here and there. You know how it is." The twinkle in Sebastian's eyes mirrored the joy of reunion, and Sicil could not help but reciprocate. Her teasing took on a gentler tone as she remarked, "Last time you kissed me, my cheeks were wet." Sebastian's expression softened as he remembered the farewell that had left us both in tears. "I always wished I wouldn't be the reason for your sadness," he confessed, his eyes filled with kindness. "But now, seeing you looking like a princess, like a fairy from my dreams, I can't help but feel pleased." And appreciating the sentiment, Sicil could not resist a playful jab. "Well, I must say, your absence did wonders for my transformation into a fairy princess department," Sebastian chuckled. "Maybe I should leave more often if this is the result." As the party continued in full swing, Sebastian and Sicil seemed to create their own world within the lively celebration. Ignoring the vibrant crowd and the cheerful chatter around them, they were engrossed in a conversation that spanned the years they had spent apart. Sicil's curiosity knew no bounds as she demanded to know every detail of Sebastian's life during his absence. From the places he had visited to the people he had met, she soaked in the richness of his experiences. Her eyes sparkled with genuine interest and affection, hanging onto every word he spoke. Sebastian, in turn, was captivated by how Sicil listened, as if his stories were the most precious gifts she could receive. He spoke animatedly, reliving moments with an enthusiasm that only grew when he saw the genuine delight on her face. In the periphery, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson exchanged glances, their hearts swelling with relief and happiness, while Mr. and Mrs. Wilson observed the unfolding scene with joy and anticipation. They could sense Sicil becoming an integral part of their lives. The prospect of seeing Sicil as not just a cherished friend's daughter, but as a beloved member of their own home, filled them with warmth. As the night continued, Sebastian and Sicil were cocooned in their tales and affection, where every word, every glance, and every laughter seemed to affirm that their love was timeless. After the party, as Sebastian and Sicil reflected on the night, for Sebastian, the evening was a struggle between the overwhelming desire to embrace Sicil and the constraints of being amid friends and family. Despite the longing, he maintained a facade of composure. The realization that Sicil had become a woman during his absence was both a source of joy and a challenge for Sebastian. The age difference that had kept their relationship within the bounds of friendship now posed an opportunity for something more. He was pleased with the idea that he could finally express his feelings in a way that exceeded the platonic, that he could hold her close and kiss her as more than just a friend. On the other side of the spectrum, Sicil found herself drawn to the changed version of Sebastian. His increased talkativeness and the fondness with which he held her hands did not go unnoticed. His transformation left her feeling a resurgence of the love and longing she thought she had left behind. As she listened to Sebastian's stories, her gaze unintentionally fixated on his lips, betraying the thoughts that were stirring within her. The lines on Sebastian's face told tales of experiences, adventures, and growth that Sicil had missed witnessing. His once boyish charm had transformed into a more mature and seasoned demeanor. The way he spoke, the expressions he wore were all markers of the time they spent apart. Sicil found herself caught in the currents of the person Sebastian had become, and it was both captivating and bittersweet. The fondness with which he held her hands spoke of a connection that had not waned over the years. Sicil felt the echoes of their history resounding in these gestures. The question lingered: could they pick up where they left off, or had the sands of time reshaped the contours of their relationship? It was only when Sicil entered her bedroom after the party that the abrupt realization struck her with the force of a revelation. She had spent the entire day with Ethan, sharing laughter and dreams. Yet, as soon as Sebastian entered the scene, her focus shifted. Ethan had been an integral part of her life, and he was conspicuously absent from her conversations with Sebastian. The bond they had cultivated, the emotions they had together, seemed to fade into the background when Sebastian returned. A subtle discomfort crept over Sicil as she recognized the weight of her actions. The contrast of her emotions became glaringly apparent, a divide between the cherished memories with Sebastian and the loving connection with Ethan.